The funerals are underway for the victims of Friday's deadly mosque shooting in New Zealand. And a new project would bring dozens of jobs to eastern Kentucky. We'll have more on what's in the works. And the Democratic list of candidates just got a little bit longer this weekend. We'll tell you who the latest challenger in the presidential race will be.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Connor James. The time is about 5:30. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And thankfully, just like the weekend, it's going to remain dry the next day or so.
Absolutely, and should be dry for the most part all week long. Couple of stray chances for showers in there a little bit later on, but more on that a little bit later on in the forecast. 5:30 here, as Connor mentioned, and you see a few clouds across parts of the region. Not a lot of issues going on this morning. Live pinpoint Doppler radar, nice and quiet as we start your Monday. Temperatures in the 30s area-wide. Some cooler spots in those eastern counties, some warmer spots down south. But as we plan your day out, you see temperatures get close to 50 this afternoon. Still kind of a cool day, but the sunshine will make it feel warmer. Full forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Connor?
All right, thanks, Brandon. As the investigation into the New Zealand massacre at two mosques continue, families await the return of their loved ones for burial while the nation tries to heal. The Prime Minister vows to strengthen gun restrictions. CBS's Laura Podesta has the latest.
As a nation unites in grief, New Zealanders gathered for comfort and song. They're mourning the 50 worshippers killed in the massacre at two mosques in Christchurch Friday. The country of more than 4 million is still searching for answers, while a debate over gun control is taking shape.
And I think what the public rightly are asking right now is why is it and how is it that you should and are currently able to buy military-style semi-automatic weapons in New Zealand.
The Prime Minister said on Sunday new gun reform laws will be announced within days. Out of respect for the victims of the attack, the organizers of New Zealand's largest gun show canceled the event. They also cited security risks. Over the weekend, the suspect appeared in court with his face blurred in accordance with law. Police say he acted alone, but they haven't completely ruled out that he had support. His family in Australia spoke for the first time.
It's just so much for everything to take in that somebody in our family would do anything like this.
Counter-terrorism police in the suspect's state of New South Wales raided two homes south of where he grew up. In Christchurch, workers at the local cemetery have been using heavy machinery to dig graves for the victims. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
New Zealand's Prime Minister says families of the victims are eligible for $10,000 each to help cover funeral expenses, regardless of whether the loved one was in the country legally or not. And we now know the name of a pregnant woman who died after being found with a gunshot wound in Whitley County. Kentucky State Police tell us Jerry Johnson was pronounced dead at Baptist Health in Corbin Saturday evening. Doctors were able to deliver her baby, and it is in critical condition. An autopsy of Johnson's body was scheduled for Sunday. We have not heard the results yet. We will continue updating this story on air and online at WYMT.com. And a school bus driver was arrested and charged with DUI after crashing into a security pole with 33 students on board. The Oldham County Police say Leslie Harvey was driving a school bus Friday afternoon when she struck several security poles at the entrance to a subdivision on her bus route. Now, no students were hurt and the bus only has minor damage. While Harvey did tell her supervisor that she hit something, she kept driving before the school asked her to stop. And police in New York say a suspect is now in custody as the investigation into a murder of a mob boss intensifies. Francisco Frankie Boy Cali was gunned down earlier this week in front of his home. CBS's Kenneth Craig reports from police headquarters.
After Francesco Cali's murder, there is a new development in a case that has caught national attention.
We do not believe this was a random act.
Police say they have a suspect in custody. Investigators believe 24-year-old Anthony Camello killed Cali, the reputed boss of the Gambino crime family. It's the first time an alleged mafia don has been gunned down on the streets of New York City in more than 30 years. But police wouldn't say if it was a mob hit or something else.
Everything is on the table at this point. Again, less than 12 hours we have had him in our custody. The investigation continues, and these are the answers that we will seek.
Callie emerged from his home Wednesday night after a truck backed into his vehicle. Police say it's possible the gunman may have staged the accident to lure Callie from his home. A law enforcement source tells CBS News footage from the property shows Callie and the shooter having a conversation and shaking hands before Callie was shot 10 times.
We believe we have fingerprints recovered from that vehicle as well as other places. We are still in the process of processing evidence, including for forensically digital evidence. So we hope to get some of these answers as this comes forward. 3 days into the investigation, so we'll need a little more time.
Police say they are not ruling out the possibility that other people may be involved. And during a news conference here at NYPD headquarters, detectives said this investigation is far from over. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
Well, over in Ohio, the U.S. Department of Justice criticized Cincinnati Public Schools for its handling of a $5 million school safety grant. The department accuses a school employee of pocketing money meant for a safety-related program. The employee is accused of raising her own pay and hiring people with criminal records to walk elementary students to school. The program, known as the Walking School Bus, was put in use at 8 schools. It is now suspended. And Governor Matt Bevin will spend this week either vetoing bills or signing them into law. A big focus this session in the Republican-controlled legislature was abortion. Last week, 3 pro-life bills got the final okay from lawmakers. Now 2 of them are blocked after a federal judge's ruling. Matthew Rand takes a look at the legal challenges ahead.
Certainly speaks volumes about their priorities and the way in which they frankly don't care whether they're following the law or not. They simply want to be able to push their ideology.
That was Governor Matt Bevin on Friday, responding to a legal challenge from the American Civil Liberties Union of House Bill 5, which creates a new ban on abortions based on the unborn's sex, race, color, national origin, or disability.
The people of Kentucky, again, fortunately, don't agree with that.
Also on Friday, U.S. District Judge David J. Hale granted the ACLU's request to block enforcement of House Bill 5 and also Senate Bill 9, the so-called fetal heartbeat bill, which bans abortions as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy, before most women know they are pregnant. In his decision, Judge Hale argued SB 9 challenges the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. He also cited previous Supreme Court rulings that a state may not prohibit any woman from making the ultimate decision to terminate her pregnancy before viability. The judge's temporary restraining order allowed Kentucky's only abortion clinic, EMW Women's Surgical Center in Louisville, to resume seeing patients Saturday. The center had turned patients away on Friday after the governor signed SB 9 into law. The clinic's own Dr. Ernest Marshall is quoted as saying women's health care should be a priority in our state. It should never be compromised to score political points. The order expires in 14 days to allow time for a hearing. Reporting in Lexington, Matthew Rand, WKYT.
Lawmakers will return to Frankfort March 28th for the last day of the legislative session. In other news, $10 million will be made available for Tennessee for emergency repairs to flood-damaged roads. Tennessee experienced heavy rain and flooding throughout late February. The funding will be used to pay for repairs done to both restore and prevent additional damage. And a new project coming to Pikeville is hoping to put coal miners back to work. Toyota recently announced a partnership for the 700-acre solar panel farm in Pike County. The project would create jobs for 200 construction workers and 50 permanent jobs. Co-developer Adam Edlin says they want to utilize the skills many laid-off coal miners already have.
Coal miners are the best trained workers in the world. These are people who show up for work every day. They are used to working in a team. They are highly trained.
It will take around a year and a half to build, with 400,000 to 500,000 panels. The $130 million farm will put out 100 megawatts and will be the largest of its kind in Appalachia. And the list of contenders for the 2020 presidential election is rapidly growing. One potential Democratic favorite hinted last night that he may soon be jumping in the ring. CBS's Mola Lenghi reports from the White House.
Former Vice President Joe Biden either slipped or tipped his hand about officially joining the race on Saturday night.
I have the most progressive record of anybody running for the anybody who would run.
A Biden entrance into the race would significantly shift the growing Democratic field since he's widely seen as the party's frontrunner. But while he continues to hold out, others wasted no time.
That's why I'm running for president.
Senator Kirsten Gillibrand officially stepped onto the campaign trail Sunday, joining 13 other Democrats who hope to knock off President Trump in 2020.
I think this is a great problem for us to have as a party and as a democracy. So many choices. So many different life experiences.
Former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke was on the trail in Wisconsin today. Others made stops in Iowa and Nevada this weekend. They're also making the rounds on the Sunday talk shows. Soon, President Trump is expected to step up his re-election bid with more rallies. But some Republicans are already looking for a GOP alternative in 2020.
I think someone should run, just because Republicans ought to be given a choice.
Last summer, President Trump told CBS News that Joe Biden would be his dream opponent in 2020. Today, alongside the First Lady, President Trump attended St. John's Episcopal Church here in Washington for a St. Patrick's Day service. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
Coming up ahead, we head to Hollywood to get you caught up on all of the latest news in your Eye on Entertainment report.
Spring is just a few days away, and the weather will start to look more like it, especially toward the end of the week. I'll have the full forecast in about 3 minutes.